Test. Test. Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness. Craziness going on here in my house today. I am finally feeling better. I sound a little off yet, but honestly, I feel so much better than I did earlier in the week. Good morning, Joyce and Karen. Today I'm going on YouTube and Facebook. So I've got my YouTube up over here. I've got my Facebook up over here. My Facebook is freezing on my iPad, so I'm staying live, it looks like, on my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to watch comments from both. So if you've been having a difficult time with Facebook freezing during my lives on an iPad, go over to my YouTube channel and hopefully that will help. Good morning, Becky and Kelly. Oh my goodness, lots of you jumping on here already this morning. I'm just a tad bit early. Probably not for you because there's a little bit of a delay, but it's been a crazy week. So this just about sums up my week. Yesterday, I was in 4 different classes, and I had to go from one campus to the other campus to finish up my day somewhere else. And my throat was really starting to bother me from all the talking that I did. And so I stopped at Starbucks to get a hot tea. And I was pulling out of Starbucks, and the whole thing flew on my pants, my jacket, everything. It was all over. There was nothing left in the cup. It just like completely fell. And I'm like, oh, this just sums up my week. It was a jeans day that day at both campuses, and I thought it was just at one. And so I got all dressed up because I didn't want to be in jeans if the kids were dressed up. And so I went home and had to change into jeans this time. And I went back to school, and actually I put on sweatpants and went back into school. So it was kind of that kind of week. So, but today is great. We are going to be stamping, and that is so much fun. So I wanted to start with some prizes. Why don't we start there? So last week we made man cards. So we made this bear card. That was a man birthday card. We have the matching envelope to go with it. And then we made this silhouette of a sailboat during a sunset card. And we also have a little matching envelope to go with it. So for those who made comments last week, I put your name into a drawing, and Cheryl McClure, you are going to be getting these. And I have the envelope all ready to go to stick these in, and I'm taking these to the post office because those of you that won prizes last week, I am so sorry you did not get them this week. It was kind of one of those things where I went to work, I got my work done, I came home, and I recovered. And I tried to stay up so I could take medicine late enough so that it would last me through the night so that I wasn't coughing all night. But 4 COVID tests later, I am negative. I never was positive for COVID. It was just, I think, some sort of a sinus infection or congestion thing. But I'm better. So Cheryl, you will be getting these, and those of you that won prizes last week, they are all ready to go to the post office as soon as I am done this morning. So I have that. And then for sharing, so if you hit that share button and you share my video on your Facebook page, you also get entered into a drawing. Oh, looks like we got Mary joined us on YouTube. Good. I'm trying to watch comments from both. Oh, the one with the deer. Yeah, good job, Mary. Mary King said that she made the card like my bear one, but she made it with the deer because she doesn't have the bear. Awesome. You could put any animal there, really. You could really do anything and still make it pretty masculine. Okay, so sharing. If you hit share, that shares it to your Facebook page and it gets me other customers coming on. I think that the first time I did a Facebook Live, I maybe had about 10 people, and right now it looks like I'm at 25. So just for today, plus all the people that watch. I think when I had to put in my random generator, I think I had over 100 people that had commented. So thank you so much for helping me to grow that. So for sharing last week and receiving a package of these, they're called pebble enamel shapes. They sort of look like rocks. And I am going to be making a video for next week because I won't be live next week, but I will be posting a video on Saturday morning at my normal time for you. I am going to actually be using these. I started to design a card last night and I decided I wanted this for next week because I had another thing in mind. My mom called me at like 6 o'clock and she said, so are you ready for tomorrow? I said, I have in my head what I think I want to do, but I'm not quite sure. I'm going to just kind of go play a little bit. And she's like, please go to bed early. Please don't stay up all night. And I did not stay up all night, but I got a couple of things even planned for next week. So receiving these, sorry, I got off the subject there, squirrel, is Bonnie Kelly. So Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for all of you who share. And these also, I have your address, so it's all set and ready to go in the mail as soon as I'm done here. I'm going to the post office and I'm going to the bank this morning. All right, before I switch and we get to stamping, I just wanted to share a little promotion that is starting on Tuesday of this week. So February 1st through the 2nd of May, we have a new stamp set, paper, and a bunch of blends that is called All Together. So this is a little sampling of the paper. You can see the blends and you can see the stamp set a little bit. I'm going to turn my overhead light off and I will switch to that camera so that you can see a close-up view of these. This is what I'm going to be working with today because I have a swap. So this is the stamp set. There's a little bit of a shadow there, or glare from my light. Okay, it has the little heart with the two hands, the I promise, the pinky swear. Excuse me. Some very cool sayings with some nice fonts. There are also dies that go with this where you can cut out the hands with the pinky. You can cut out the hands with the heart. This says, here for you and you matter. Very cool. And then all of the blends are various skin tones. So up until this point, Stampin' Up! Had an ivory and a bronze that you could purchase together. And now there are these blends that will be coming out, and these will be in the next catalog. And instead of having a name, so we had the dark daffodil, the light daffodil, delight, these are all have a number. So this one is Stampin' Up! 1000, I think it is. Yep. And then the other one is 900. Okay, so they all have numbers and instead of names. So this is something that you can get your hands on. It will be on the Stampin' Up! Website beginning on, or in the store, beginning on Tuesday. And then this is the paper. So we've got this, there's white with black outlines so that you can color these in. There's a bunch of different patterns here. And then if you flip them over, again, there's always something else on the back. Okay, so those are very white based, where you could color them in and add different things to them. Excuse me. And then we have our more black with white. So there's little hearts in there, and we flip it over. We've got other designs on the back. Now I was looking for a black and white stripe for one of my cards today, and I used Party Patterns, which is, I think that's what it's called. That might not be what it's called. I should know what it's called. It's a Hostess set, DSP, and there's black and white striped in there, and that's what I used for the card that I'm doing today. But there's also black and white stripe in here, I realized when I opened this up this morning to get it ready. I said I'm in a card swap where I have to make 7 cards and send them to 6 other demonstrators. Here's one of the cards that I got. This one is from Christine Bertram. Isn't that cute? So love changes everything. Every act of kindness changes the world. And then she's got some of those some red ribbon that we have, the black and white paper. Just a very cute set. So I wanted to at least share that with you to make you aware of it because it is starting this week. All right, we are ready to stamp. Since I have my camera turning this way, I think we're going to go ahead and get started on stamping. Okay, this is really weird, people, because YouTube has more of a delay actually than Facebook does, which is kind of hard to believe. So anyway, I am going to, let's set this aside. Here is our fold. Our first one is going to be a Z fold, and we are going to use that ladybug punch, and we are going to make it into a bumblebee. So it's another way to use the ladybug punch and to be able to get something a little bit different than just having a ladybug. We don't need the stamp at all for this. We are just going to need the punch, and I'm going to be using a different stamp set, again, from our annual catalog, because we don't want to forget about the annual catalog. So the dimensions for this card, I'm going to start with a card that's 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And on the 8.5 inch side, I scored this at 2 1/8 and at 4 1/4. So I've already folded this in half to get it in my envelope that I had here. Okay, I'm going to give it a good burnish with my bone folder, but I'm going to fold this one back because, like I said, this is going to be a Z fold. See the little Z there? This is going to be the base, and this is Bumblebee. We are going to be using some black and white along with our bumblebee color. So this measures 3 3/4 by 5. And then we are going to have the inside piece be basic white, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go on the inside of our card. And then I'm going to take another bumblebee piece, and I just want to cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller than this black piece to layer it. And so I cut that at 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I've run this through our Hive. This is in the January to June mini catalog. It is such a fun, look at, you could either put it on this side or this side. We're actually going to use this side today. Okay, so that is our Hive, which fits perfectly with our bee. All right, I took a piece of the DSP from that Hostess set, and this measures 1 1/4 inches by 4 7/8. So that's going to be layered on there. Now I did cut it a little bit longer than 4 7/8 because I can always cut a little bit off. I can't add extra though, so I always want to make sure. And then I have a little piece for the inside of my card that's just 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. I also cut a piece that's going to be for our envelope. I also die cut this label from the Scallop and Contour dies, and this is the one that has like this open part. You could always like weave a ribbon. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. You could weave a ribbon through this if you wanted to, and then have it come out the side or the top and the bottom. I'm not going to be doing that, but that's kind of what I think these openings here, you could use that for something clever like that, or put different colors of paper down it. You could also, oh, I didn't even think of this. We could even go like this. Maybe what we want to do is we want to do that with ours. I hadn't done this on my sample, but maybe we want to do that when I'm doing this one. We will see. I also have some scraps in my bucket here. See, this is that rainbow paper on one side and then black and white on the other side. We are going to be using this to make our bee. We also have some vellum for the wings. And what I did with this vellum, because vellum is really hard to, where are you going to put the glue so that nobody sees it? And so I saw another demonstrator, it was Susie Wood, who ended up taking a 1.5 inch strip of vellum, and she scored it at 1/4 of an inch. And I'll show you what we're going to do when we punch this so that we can use this little flap as the place where we add our glue so that you do not see the glue. Okay, we are going to use some Memento ink along with Bumblebee ink, and we are going to use these Hello and Friend from, oh my goodness, why can't I think of the name of this stamp set right now? I should have put the stamp in here. And then this is from that free set that you can get with a $100 purchase. And it says, couldn't wait for a special occasion. So I'm just sending a hello over to my friend. So let's start with our stamping. Let's get that out of the way. And then we will do some punching and putting together of our card. So I'm going to start with this label. And I am going to bring in, I had this out here before, which was kind of a little bit of a teaser with the Hello Friend. You can tell we've been doing some tulips with this as well. This is just one of those piercing mats that I've covered with some paper so that it doesn't get the ink all over the piercing mat. And it just gives some cushion when you have a bigger photopolymer stamp set. So I'm going to start with the Hello. And just like my sample shows you here, I'm going to do that in Bumblebee. I'm going to do that a little bit towards the top. Oh, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to come in with my Memento ink and just do the friend underneath that. All right, I wanted to keep this portion open, and I didn't want to center that hello because that's where my little bee, his little bum, is going to sit there for one of the bees. We're going to actually put 2 bees on this card. We're going to make 2 of them. And then this is going to be the inside. And again, I just found this greeting, which I thought was pretty cool, and it just said, I couldn't wait for a special occasion. All right, we are done, believe it or not, with our stamping. And now we are going to put our bee together. All right. I think I'm still good because my YouTube is really good. My Facebook is still freezing on my iPad. I don't know if it's an update that I need or what it might be, but who knows in this day and age with technology, right? It's so fun being in technology. Okay, I'm going to use this striped paper, and I am going to cut out a bee. And what I want to do is, here is the end of sort of the head of the ladybug, and I want that to be my marking spot for my stripe. So I'm going to have black up there. And I'm going to try to have a straight line from that little indent to that little indent. I did a pretty good job. All right, I'm going to do one more of those. Anyone have any special plans for today? Anything big going on in your lives today? I really don't. I have to, like I said, I want to get some stamping done so I'm going on retreat next weekend, so that'll be a relaxing weekend, hopefully. I am on the retreat team, so that means there's a little bit of work that I have to do on the weekend, but it's still fulfilling work. All right, now I'm going to cut the body also in black so that I have the head in black. All right, and I'm making 2 of these. And then, like I said, this vellum was 1.5 inches. And I ended up scoring it at 1/4 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up here, and I don't want where that fold is. I don't want to cut all the way to the top of that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to leave a little bit of an edge so that that fold stays there. Okay, because I'm going to use this to glue my wings on. All right, I'm going to do wings for the other one, but I think I'm going to have to cut this little piece off to get that in there. So again, I'm not going to go all the way up to the top and cut. I don't want to cut on that. I want to have it a little bit before, so hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I haven't gone all the way up to the top, and I'm going to go ahead and punch that. Oh, a baptism tomorrow. Oh, the triplets are getting baptized, Debbie. How fun is that? Oh, that ought to be interesting, huh? With 3 of them, right? Okay, I'm going to bring in a dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm going to color in the white and make it yellow for my bumblebee. And this is actually going to be cut off, but I'll go ahead and color it in just so you can see that. All right. Anyone else have any big plans for the weekend? I'm going to church actually tonight. I have to do tech tonight. Every once in a while I sign up for a Saturday because they can't find people to do it usually on Saturdays. So it's actually kind of nice because then tomorrow I can sleep in a little bit. I'm just going to cut that across. Cut that across. All right, I am going to bring my bone folder in here, and I am going to try to curl these just a little bit. And I'm going to curl these up a little bit. And before I glue these on, I realized it was easier to add my Wink of Stella before I actually glued them on. So I'm going to go ahead and just run my Wink of Stella brush over this vellum. I love vellum. It just seems so, I don't even know if you can see. Can you see? Oh, you can kind of see that a little bit. The little glitter that we get when we bring that Wink of Stella onto the vellum. All right. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Like I said, I saw this on, I've seen a whole bunch of demonstrators do bumblebees. I happened to look at Susie Woods and saw she had different pictures of what she had done. I am going to center that in there and just press that down. So now my glue you can't see, okay, because normally with vellum you can see glue. You can't see it. I'm going to trim this just a little bit here. You really wouldn't have to. I did on mine. I don't even know if she did on hers. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to trim that off just a little bit. And then I'm going to take this part of my bee and I'm going to add it to the body of that, what was supposed to be a ladybug punch. So now we've got a couple of different options with our ladybug. We can keep the ladybug, or we can make it into a little bee. Make sure I get this up and centered right. There we go. Just kind of had to look at it a little bit closer. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so there's a little bee. And we'll add our wings to the other one. Good morning, Diane. Where is that saying from? The inside one, Marcia, is from the stamp set that is in Celebration that you can earn if you spend $100. It's free if you spend $100. I think it's called Special Moments. I can look for it and bring it on here. It has a lot of really, really cool sayings in it. And I thought that was when you have just a hello friend type card, that's the perfect saying for the inside. All right, put our bees together here. You really wouldn't probably need 2 of them on this card. You could probably get by with 1. I was playing and having so much fun that I decided I wanted to make a second one, and here we go. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but there is definitely some sparkle going on to those wings. It looks so cute. All right, our bumblebee's done. Should we slide this paper in here, do you think? Should we try that? Let's try it. I didn't do this on my other one. I'm going to go ahead and add this little strip. I'm going to get my scissors out of here. I'm going to set it close by, though. I'm going to add this little strip to the side here. Just to bring a little of that to the inside. And then that is going to be attached to the inside of this Z-fold card. Get it centered. And then we are going to layer. Yeah, Sandy the bee is really cool. It's just kind of a different way, and Julie, it's a different way to use that ladybug punch. Oh, Mandy, you made your Valentine's with that, your daughter's Valentine's? Such a good idea. I mean, I remember making a butterfly once for when I helped my nieces with their Valentine's. Their moms used to always send them over to me. Can you help them make their Valentine's? We made puppy chow one year and made little puppies out of some stamps that we put together. It's always been so much fun. Okay, let's try this, ladies. I haven't done this. This is going to be something that's new, but let's weave our paper right through there. Oh, I like how that looks. Okay, now I should have waited to put this on there. Let's see if we put it all the way to the side here. I probably should have waited to put the yellow on there because I want to trim that, but we will do our best to trim it afterwards. Remember how I said I make it a little bit longer because you can always cut a little bit off. You just can't add any extra to it. Well, then you gotta wait to do that until, there we go. Let's see what I can do as far as cutting this straight here. Not too bad. Still a little bit longer than I would like it, but it's going to do the trick. I think that looks kind of cool weaved in like that. All right, I was going to add a little ribbon, but I'm going to put some ribbon somewhere else. We are going to add this to our Z-fold just like that. I'll leave this up. So I only want to put glue on a small portion of this. And I want to center that on the white so I have an even edge all around. Hopefully I didn't put my glue too far. I did not. Otherwise I always have my glue eraser that I can take some of it off after. All right. And then I think we'll put one of our little bees here, and we'll put one of our bees up there. How does that look? Or we could just put one of them on. We really wouldn't have to put both of them on. I had two on my other one. Maybe what I'll do, I think I am going to put them both on. What do you think? 2 or 1? Put it in the comments. Should I put 2 of them on or should I put just 1 of them on? I'm making this card different than I did in my sample. So I'm going to just go by what you tell me to, because I can always use the bee somewhere else. You tell me if you think it should have 1 bee or should I have 2. Amanda says 2. Kathy Jean says 2. Okay, we are going to do 2. Most of you are saying 2. Okay, let's put 2 on. Since we have them, we will use them. So we're going to put one little bee up here, and we're going to put the other one down here. So cute. And those wings are flapping. All right. Just so much fun. Now, I do have some of this bumblebee gingham ribbon. And my thought was I was going to run it across here and I was going to tie it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a bow instead with it. And we will just add it to the top of that designer series paper. We don't have to run the ribbon all the way across. I just did that a little bit different. I'd never slid the paper through there before. I just wanted to kind of see how that looks. Kind of looks different, you know, with having it coming out in and out of the designer series paper. You could always lay it flat as well. I had put that up on dimensionals on my original one that I made. And let's see here, and get a glue dot. And we'll just set that maybe up a little bit higher. Down below, nope. Up higher, in the corner, in this corner. Maybe we want it just in this corner like that. Maybe it's too much. Maybe the bow is too much. What do you think? Do you like the bow? Where should I put the bow? We're getting input from the crowd today. Like I said, I haven't done this one this way completely. I have just kind of made it up as I went along here today a little bit. Oh, thanks, Tammy. These are some of the classic matte dots. These are in black, white, gray, and off-white or vanilla. And I'm just going to add a couple of those. And we'll do one big one here too, to that card, just to give it a little bit more. Do you like the ribbon? No bow. Keep the bow. No bow, no bow, no bow. Okay, I think the consensus is no bow. I kind of was starting to think, because we went with the 2 bees, that maybe the bow was getting to be just a little bit too much on that card. If we'd gone with just 1 bee, I probably would have put the bow back on it. All right, so there is our sweet little card to send to our friend. Couldn't wait for a special occasion. I don't have a stamp set that really says like buzzing by to say hi or anything like that. But that would be, if you have something like that from another set, you could go ahead and use that and have your little 3D bee on your card. All right, so that is our card number 1. And I do have a little bit of the designer series paper that we can add to the envelope to create for ourselves a matching envelope for our card. And we'll just go ahead and trim on the outside. See, look at that little rainbow paper. The back side of all this black and white is all different colorful patterns, and then the other side is black and white. You can only get that if you host a party. It's some of the hostess benefits. Okay, so there's our little card with our matching envelope. Isn't that cute? When I saw the little bees, I'm like, I've got to try that. We've got to do a card like that. So last night, that was what I decided, was that's what we're going to do, is we're going to do the bees. I like 2, but face the top one down. Oh, that would have been a good idea. Take this bee and flip it around. That was Mary. Sorry, Mary, I missed your comment before I put it down. But you could put the head so that it was down here and the wings were going up. That's a good idea too, so that it was facing the opposite direction. Thank you guys for your suggestions. It's so cute. All right, next we are going to make a little Halloween, or not Halloween, oh my goodness. It's Valentine's. Okay, it starts February this week. And so I was at Meijer And I was looking at some of the little Valentine treats that they had, and these had these little Ghirardelli chocolates. Some are dark chocolate with sea salt, and some were milk chocolate. I haven't eaten any of these yet, believe it or not. But they were these little packets like this. And I thought, how cute to put like 2 of these in some sort of a little box of some sort for coworkers for Valentine's Day, or to add with some maybe little other treats that you have for people. So a couple of years ago, I had made a treat holder when we had the koala bears. It was like a little birthday set, but within that birthday set, one of the dies, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all this stuff out of my container I have here. One of the dies that they had within that set was a tag. And so I got to thinking, I wonder if I can use our tailor-made tags. We've got this set with all these different size tags. So what I did was I took one of those chocolates and I kind of measured to see which size, and I'm like, okay, I could get away with, this would be almost too big. And then I looked at this one, that one would be almost too big. That one's getting a little bit tight, but that one right there, this second one, seemed to fit perfectly. So I'm going to use this tag and make a little box for these to stick on, and the tags are going to be glued to the outside of it to kind of wrap that box in. Hopefully that'll make sense when I start to make it. All right, so I made one yesterday in a different one. So this one, again, we're going to be kind of making on the fly, which I'm not really good with. I really like to have everything set and I know exactly what I'm going to make. But in this case, we're going to kind of be improvising a little bit because I haven't made this exact one ahead of time. Okay, so our little box that's going to hold 2 of these Ghirardelli chocolates. So I measured and it had to be at least 3/4 of an inch thick if I wanted to put 2 of them in. So this is 3 inches. This is 4 3/4 inches. And I'm going to bring my cutting tool in here so that, or my, I'm going to score this with you so that you can see. So on the 4 3/4 inch side, we are going to score at 2 inches because I wanted it 2 inches high. And I wanted the difference between the two to be 3/4. So the 2 and the 2 is 4. And then the middle part of my box is that 3/4 of an inch. I don't know if you can see those score lines. But between those score lines is 3/4 of an inch. And there's 2 inches on each side. Then on the 3 inch side, I'm going to score at that distance that I wanted, 3/4. So my box is actually going to be as wide as what my tag is, which was about 3/4 of an inch. I'm sorry. Yeah. So from here to here, actually 1.5 inches as it is. Okay, it's about 1.5 inches wide. All right, that's all I need for scoring. You need to have 2 tags that you're going to cut. So again, I took my tailor-made tags. You could also make your box a little bit bigger, or you could just have something hang over the sides of it a little bit more if you wanted to use some of our tag toppers. If you have some of those and you just want to cut those in, you could use those as well. I decided the tailor-made tags were perfect for this. All right. I'm not sure where I set my scissors because I need my snips to be able to cut here. And I don't know where I set it down. I'm going to have to go up here. I have another one sitting at my desk. This one probably isn't. I'm just going to cut up the middle, those middle score lines. And I'm going to burnish everything. So I'm going to bring my bone folder in here. Burnish all of this stuff. These are super easy little treats to make. might seem like, oh, it seems like it's taking you a long time to do that just for one. But when you make multiples, it goes a lot faster. Making sure I don't have any questions here. Oops. Mary, I know it's hard sometimes, right? Not to make sure that the chocolates make the treat box and that you don't eat them all. It's challenging. I found when I was making this last night that it was easier to attach this. So it is, my tag is a little bit wider. So I'm just centering it in the center here, but I'm gluing it on each of the ends now because I can actually press down onto a hard surface. When the box is already made, you can't do that. So I tried, believe me, that's why I decided I was going to glue this on now, because the first one that I made, I felt like I was destroying my box by adding the tags after. So I'm just keeping the glue on this middle section. So I've got my 2 score lines here, and I'm just adding glue to the middle section, and then I'm taking this and I'm centering it. So it does hang off a little bit on each end. I'm just centering that and running up the bottom of the tag to the bottom of that box. Okay, pretty easy. So these are going to come up like this, and this is just going to fold into itself to make my little box. Okay, so quick and easy, right? So what I need to have, and I found that the tear and tape, when I'm making boxes, I like to use tear and tape because I feel like it's the sturdiest thing that I have. So I'm just going to run a little tear and tape, and I just need to do this on one of the sides. It doesn't matter which side that it is, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Whoops, I did not do a very good job of ripping that off. I should be using my take your pick tool. Or my scissors, but I will just keep using my fingernails. I don't have those fancy nails that I go and have done, so it's easy for me to pull things off. Those people that have their nails all done, it's harder when you have those acrylic nails. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and square up one side. So it's just going to go right on top of that side. And this is going to go right on top of there. All right, voila. Let's see, this one is more red and pink, so maybe I'll use, I didn't even open these, I don't think. The milk chocolate ones have some pink and red hearts, so I can stick 2 of those right inside of that little box. Okay, everyone following me so far? And then I couldn't decide which I wanted to use. So this is some of our marble paper that's in our celebration, which I really like that. It's a little bit flimsier than the cardstock. This is Blushing Bride, but I think I'm going to use this because I kind of like how that looks with that. This almost looks a little too dark of a pink next to that paper. So I think I'm going to use the marbleized paper. And then I think I cut myself out a red heart from the Sweet Conversations stamp set. Okay, so I've got that heart there. And then I know that my greeting that I picked is not nearly big enough to fit on there, the Happy Valentine's that we had. But I thought that if I stamped it and then cut the words apart, like I said, I haven't really tried this, but I thought if I stamped it and cut the words apart, that I could somehow fit them on that heart. I could be completely wrong, and I could have to rethink this all, but we're going to try it. Okay, so Happy Valentine's Day. Way too big, okay, for that. Let me just see here. I don't think that I want to do this, but I think it's just going to look too big if I put that all the way across. Even if I I should use my paper trimmer, but sometimes it's easier. I just think that that's a little bit too big. So I think if I cut the words apart, this is what I was thinking in my head last night. I did make one of these, but I made it in the conversation hearts. And so I was thinking if I put the happy there, and then the Valentine's kind of on an angle, and it might quite not make it on there. And if I maybe put that up on some dimensionals, and then my day. And then just add a couple of those rhinestones, these wonderful iridescent rhinestones on there. I think that that will make a pretty tag that we can attach to the top of this with a little bit of that faux red linen ribbon. So I'm going to put the heart down, I think, and actually let's do this. Let's take a little wink of Stella and let's make this heart shine like crazy. Can you see? You probably can't even see that on the TV or on the video. Oh, there you can see it a little bit. Okay, there's this glimmer on there now. And we're going to go ahead and just add a little bit of glue to that tag. So it kind of is looking a little bit like the paper. And then I am going to have to cut some of these, I think, in half. Because these greetings are tiny. And there is the happy. And I'll do a couple of them on the Valentine's because it's a little bit longer. I'll show you the other one that I made as soon as I'm done here. That one I made with the conversation hearts paper. This is also paper in that Sweet Conversations suite. It was just, I thought I wanted to have a couple of different samples for you, and I just ran out of time last night to really make this one before we were going to do it. So I'm like, I have one other sample I can show them, and then I'll make this one live, and hopefully that'll be good. I probably should have checked to see how this fit on this heart, but I think it looks okay. Okay, so happy. Whoops. Yeah, with this wink of Stella, I should probably wait until this dries because these things are not going to want to stick real well on there. Okay, so happy Valentine's Day. We'll take a couple of these iridescent rhinestones that look like they're just glowing and add a couple of those. I think we just need a couple of them. And then I have that faux red linen ribbon. And if we sneak this through here, and ooh, I got a good scissors. That must have been my good one. I am going to order one, and I'm going to make it just be for ribbon because I'm use it for way too many things. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tie that in a knot like that. Don't even think it has to be in a bow. A bow would be too big. And there is our little treat to give to a coworker, a friend, stick it in just about anywhere. Here's the other one that I made with the conversation heart paper. And I cut apart the Happy Valentine's Day and just put it on there and cut some of the smaller hearts and a couple of those iridescent rhinestones again and use some of that iridescent white ribbon. So they went together so fast, and they're so cutting this apart is probably the tedious part of that. you could find a different greeting that you could put on there. You didn't have to decorate them as much as you did, but look at how cute that is. And this one has the little blue ones that have the purple hearts on the front, and this one has the gold with the little pink hearts on the front to go along with the color of the paper that I used. So fun little Valentines that you can give. Again, here are the dimensions if you find these little Ghirardelli. Like I said, I got these at Meijer in Appleton. I don't know if you have a Meijer near you, or I'm sure that they would have these almost like at a Walmart or maybe even a grocery store. But these were the dimensions of that little box. And again, the tag that I used was from the TaylorMade tags, and I used the second largest on this side. This one was a little bit small. This one, you could make it. It would just hang off the sides a little bit more, and your box would be more on the inside, and you would just have to center it. You could really use any tag that you wanted to. It's about 1 3/4 inches wide. So you could even take something like this is one of our tag toppers, and you could cut your designer series paper. If you have something like this, you could cut it to 1 3/4 inches wide. This goes up to 2 inches. Center it in between there, and then cut the top part to be able to do that. This is 2 inches high, and it's probably another inch on top of that. So it's probably about 3 inches tall. All right. So those are just some ideas for Valentine's Day. I'm going to come back here. There I am. I have my light off now. But I just wanted to share those with you. Next week, again, I will not be live, but still check, and I will have a video posted for you with some ideas. I am using that New Horizon paper, and I think I'm going to maybe, whatever I do for a swap card with that all together, I will also have that for you. And then I will be live again the Saturday after that. So I hope that you have a great week. Thank you for joining me. Sorry that I coughed a couple of times, but let me tell you, I'm a lot better than I was earlier in the week. So I'm so happy that I was able to join with you today. I am not going to eat these. These are all going to be Valentine's treats. I'm telling myself I have to go to Florida. Not have to. I get to go to Florida in about a month and a half. And I have to lose quite a bit of weight before then. So I'm really trying to watch it, and I've been really good this week. We'll see how next week goes, but these are off limits to me right now. I'm trying to cut out sugar because I think sugar is my problem. So I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend and a week ahead. I will see you live in 2 weeks, but catch me next week on Facebook with a video that I'll have posted for you. Have a great weekend. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.